This is Making Sense of Life and Reality. What is the most important gem or lesson a mentor gave you in the last 10 years that you still use every single day?
Interesting question. I'd say never be comfortable.
Nice.
Yeah. So always want better.
Nice.
So what that has done is, and there can be misunderstandings on that, but how I have used that is progress. So I'm at this point, I've learned so much, but it doesn't mean that I am now successful. Yes, there's success based on the milestones I want to achieve, but then there's more that I can do.
For sure.
So it's all about staying hungry.
Yeah.
And that has helped me on every milestone I hit. I'm like, fine, yes, I can celebrate that.
Awesome.
But then there's more that can be done to move to the next level.
There's a tagline for the show where I usually say, if bad can become good, good can become better, better can become the best, and still the best can get better. Better, because again, by the time you're talking of our dope cars here, our mechanics from Grogan, it's still better. We have Ferraris, you have Lamborghinis, you have all that. So, but still, those things are still working for better. So to our own lives, maybe get to apply more or less the same principle. Don't be comfortable. They're still better. They're still better.
Awesome. So that like I even had a conversation earlier this week, and say for example you have a shot glass here, you fill it with water. To that shot glass, it's enough. Put that water in this glass, so you change your situation.
Just shot.
How much do you have? How much emptiness do you have?
Way much more. Yeah.
So stay hungry. Now move yourself to now this situation where you need to feel.
Don't be the shot glass to your life.
Shot glass to your life.
Exactly. Blessed. In a world of real estate, the difference between a good deal and a financial disaster often comes down to the quality of the advice behind it. We want to make sense by exploring the impact on the different players in the real estate ecosystem. Let's start with investors. So with investors, often chase high yields, but what are the invisible risks in commercial real estate that only a decade of experience can spot before the money is committed?
I wouldn't say only a decade, sometimes more. So I'd say trends. We are able to notice trends on what's happening.
Awesome.
Which which the developer might not be privy to. And because they say information is power, we have all this information for example, from the time I used to do valuations only. All those years have helped me see where potentially there could be opportunities and where potentially there could be disasters.
For sure.
And a lot of how the industry has changed. Quite a lot of focus has now shifted to sustainability, but that was not a big factor quite a number of years ago. So how do you notice that trend with information? But who has all this information? It's the professionals.
For sure.
And because like as professionals, we have these institutions that govern our practice, and they organize events where we get to interact and share ideas and things like that. That also builds on professional capacity. For sure. Progressively.
Awesome.
Because we as professionals, there's a lot of information we have on the market.
For sure.
And we give advice based on how we analyze this data. How data has become a big factor.
For sure.
In every industry. So a professional is able to pick out a trend or pick out any intricacies specific to your property based on the knowledge that we have and our level or expertise in analysis or analyzing that information and then giving you our advice. If it's a non-professional, then people who we call quacks might not be able to pick this out.
They have some blind spots that they are not.
There are a lot of blind spots. A lot of blind spots that they may not be able to pick.
Miss, and then out of the dark just come and hit you through here. Like, where did that come from?
Yeah. So in that way, professionals are very, very important to any investor or developer.
Yeah, I think this is where you say the theory and the practice are well merged to be like, this is just a solution. It's just they know what they're doing, they've read about it, they are still on the current information about stuff. They have the data, which gives them enough information. But when you say that the way data has become critical nowadays, is because where do you get information from if you don't have data? And I'm like, man, you can say of how long people stay in a property. You can say, maths. I get to appreciate a lot of maths because it gets to stand for whatever it's standing for. Yeah. With that, and again, maths is pure. It is not biased. This is what came. This is what came. This is what left. And with all that, the math, and especially I think when you also understand the math, is where your clients are even like, he's explained the math so well. I think, we can. It will take some years, not 5, not 10. 7, 8, but with the math that you've presented to them, they're like, done. Sellers often have an emotional attachment to their property that inflates their price expectations. How do you use market data and advisory to bring them back to a reality that actually leads to a sale?
When you're dealing with people who own property, the expectation, whatever they get, their mindset when they have that property is very different from someone else's mindset. They are selling what they feel could be achievable. There's the market reality, but they think, my property has these features or is in a certain location that gives it an upper edge, or there's certain things about the property that they feel, and I say feel because tied to emotions, could give them a higher price. But then the way they view the property is different from how the market will view it. The market might not pay attention to the things they pay attention to when they're dealing with it, or when they had it and they want to dispose it. So now that comes down to how good the quality of the information that you get about the property. So they focus on what they know, but they might not have all the knowledge about it. Of course, right now there's a lot of information in the industry, but there are intricacies that are very specific to the profession that you need a professional to guide you on it. So now, when you involve a professional, they can even analyze your property against other comparable sites just to give you a more realistic approach to it, a more realistic sale price for it. So there's ways that we handle such information to better put it out to the market so that we can get a fair market price or get a buyer who's aligned to that.
For sure.
Yeah.
I think as you're also saying that, I'm seeing the part where you minimize risk. So it's all about risk, because again, with everything is a risk. And with this, I'm just like, anything tied to money. And when you're talking about the emotional part of the clients, is the part of like, that's true human nature. It is not cheap. You agree somebody is removing something from one side to the other side. So even with the part where you're solving the problem of, I just want this person to be peaceful, knowing what they have is bringing them returns as the market, as the current time. At the current time is what the best that they can get out of that. Because now on the other side, now you have the people who don't approach you and be like, it may be pricey to get to that person. But again, I also want to put higher value on the engagement of professionals for that time, because again, in their mind also there's timelines. People think it's a forever thing. So do you usually have like shorter engagements where somebody can engage and be like, Yeah, I got the advisory. I got especially like evaluation and advisory. I mean, it's usually an in and then an out. Maybe now later you be engaged again, you go back. So with this, it's just like, let's put way more value on the part that you play to a point. Somebody's just like, man, I know we only have 10 million and we don't want to fumble it, but let's pay the right person a percentage of this just to make sure the 9 point whatever is left makes sense.
Yeah.
So I'm appreciating this conversation so far, and I bet people also will be like, in your experience, what is the X factor that a seasoned professional brings to the negotiation table that a DIY buyer or seller simply doesn't have?
Yeah, there's just knowledge.
Yeah,
it's just knowledge of the industry, knowledge of the markets.
And I think with yesterday I was watching something about farming. The farmer was just like, bro, if you don't have the knowledge of doing cows, leave it, because you'll put your money here and it will all disappear. That was just cows. That's a dairy farm. Here now is a whole property, and you see, it was just knowledge, and that is enough.
And then knowledge goes more beyond just what real estate is, because there are other factors that affect how the property will perform or how an investment will perform.
Okay.
So tying all these factors in to give proper advice. That's where now that's what now separates us from DIYs, as you may call them.
For sure. You take a lot of things just to get the silver lining through the cloud, To be like,
Yes.
Yeah, despite all these many other things still got its way through to be like, it knew the way, it knew to navigate through all these other challenges to solve this. Contractors focus on how to build, but you focus on why it should be built. How do you help contractors align their technical execution with the commercial reality of what the market actually wants to rent or buy?
So when we are looking at properties, we look at it from a sustainable point of view, because there's the usage life of that property.
Nice.
So the contractor might be looking just to deliver the property and leave it, or then say, get a professional, they will handle it for you, either manage or sell it for you. But then the professionals, as a professional, we know the market, and we know once you develop that, when you get to the market, what are we able to achieve? How are we be able to even sustain that property? If then it's buying and selling, getting buyers for the property, a contractor might want to opt to use very fancy or very high quality or high end materials, or take approaches that end up pushing the construction costs so high that market doesn't need that.
For sure. Oh, for sure.
Doesn't need such kind, or even whatever you're eyeing as the achievable price, you would not achieve that, so you end up making a loss or not making as much as you would have targeted as the owner of the asset.
For sure.
Yeah.
The expenses have become so high that the profit margin cannot be.
Exactly. But then you're not aligned to the market, because say you put features that end up pushing the service charge significantly high, and then for that market, other properties within are at 50% what you're charging for, say, service charge. So guys will be like, no, I don't want to go to that property. This guy's charge. They have unnecessary features that I don't need.
Let me go to the next one that has better price.
Yeah, better price. Quality is for the market.
That is for them.
Yes. And now you see, with professions, in the profession, we're able to assess what businesses are doing better, so that you also understand what tenant mix you need to have inside a building. So that if you're putting up this building, you're not going to target M-Pesa shops or specific kind of tenants or types of tenants, because there's already a property that is addressing that.
True.
So where is the gap in this market, and how do you design the property to fit that gap? Yeah.
Okay. We're getting it. We're making sense out here. We feel a little bit more vast, a little bit more peace from this talk today, from this conversation. And I can only appreciate it, because I can imagine how many more people will be at this point. What do you feel like I've missed, and especially from a point of where you've been? The point where you usually at. I'm seeing there's a problem there. I think it can be solved like this, but again, with people not we are not yet ready to solve such kind of problems, or those things that just ache you behind you, like, man, why have you never changed just this small part where you feel if this ever changed, it is such a different thing. So it is such a personal thing of like, yo, it's my pain, but I feel if this was ever solved, we're done with this issue.
I'd say just degrading the profession.
Okay.
Because if you go to, let me give you an example. You go to a doctor, he's also a professional.
True.
He'll charge you a specific fee, and then you'll happily pay it. And for them, you'll think they have an upper hand just because you're not faster. Yeah, well, yes, they do. But even in the real estate profession, some people think, oh, you're just going to pick, for example, valuation. Just going to pick, go see the property, take pictures, assign it a value. But there's more that goes into that. And this degrading the profession is what is people need to know about. A property manager, for example, you think, you just sit, ask people to pay rent, pay the expenses, manage the maintenance and utilities, and that's it. You think that's an easy job to do? No, what we do is we deliver value for money, because we also advise. Whatever rate you're charging, you're probably not making the same return, a decent return. You can do a small improvement, like we were saying, you look internally where there's opportunity, and then charge a little bit more. What if you compare that against whatever improvement you've done on it, and the returns you'll make from increasing your rental prices, it's significantly higher. So that's why, as professions, people try, in the real estate profession, people try to push down on the fees, which is, and it's like degrading. Because they think, oh, that's something I can do. Think, fine, go and do it to see what you can achieve.
Oh, I love that. I love, because again, there's a point it's been a journey for me to make sense of life and reality. And you get to a point, you look around and you're like, not knowing is, if knowledge is power, not knowing is weakness, right?
Yes.
And now with that is now the part of, I agree, people can do everything for themselves. You can go change, you can go paint your own house, you can go grow your own foods, you can do all these things by yourselves. But again, how wide you'll really be able to go? And this is where I now appreciate now everybody, the parts they play, because when you get Mama Fua, you get when you get somebody to come and unclog your blocked toilet or your sewerage system, you can do it. So you can't get nothing going there, even if you wash your clothes, wash your house. But again, you're able to buy time to do something else. If you are there to sort out your house, you could be getting to your office what time really. And then now past that, you say you'll do this by yourself, you do this by yourself, you do this by yourself. Yeah. So at the end of the day, what hasn't made sense to me is why personally we need to develop the self, the I, so that you will be able to get compensated for the value you put out there. Yeah. And with that, when you compensate well enough, you can be able to compensate other people who are in the professionals that they get to do. Even that cleaner who comes to your house and they clean your ceiling, they clean everywhere. You're like, okay, I never knew you clean the seats, under this way. You have a whole machine of just sucking this. You will have just taken the thing, wiped it out. You might have the vacuum cleaner, you know how to clean, but you won't clean it as the person who does the cleaning every day. So with this is, let's not degrade any profession, because let's empower all of them and empower ourselves to be able to, for us to deliver everything. Now you have time to focus, to be to read upon current trends and politics and all these other things, because there's a person who's sorting that there. Because otherwise you are the one who have been there trying to listen, trying to do this, and so you don't have really any focus. So you've made you've saved and invested, and you've been able to make the house. Get somebody who knows how to look at the things that need to be looked at and be able to tie the value to the money, so that even if it's high, what kind of value you bring and how much compensation you've gotten to be able to be okay to pay the next person the value of whatever they're doing.
Yeah.
So man, big up so much to helping us understand the value of real estate today and getting us into the world of real estate. And I bet I've made sense. I hope you feel better, and especially expressing the part where you know the role that you play.
Yeah.
And you've made milestones, you've done sacrifices, you've used time and a lot to be where you are. So from that part, you're like, you cannot compare yourself doing real estate as another person. So, but based on whatever you do it so well, and do you good, because only you can do you like you can do you. So you do you and do you good, and that may that be for everybody. It's been making sense of life and reality. I've been today here with Kins Gachie.
Thanks for having me.
Man, blessed. And actually from high school, this was my desk mate from high school. He kept me in check when I was not making sense of my life. So I really do appreciate that, because again, another thing is how years work out, and there's a part where as much as you cannot give value to people or to things by face value, still just knowing the potential that everybody has, and you just hope they get to to feed the good wolf. Because it's about where you're feeding, so you can only just hope with whatever everybody is doing, may their good side be able to take over, and may they be able to have a better life and a better reality, ideally. Thanks again.
Thanks a lot.
Till next time.
Right.
This is Making Sense of Life and